Grand Theft Auto 6 just set the record for the strongest pre-order campaign ever tracked, and the numbers are absolutely staggering. We're talking about hundreds of millions in sales even before the game launches. Newzoo's data reveals that GTA 6 pulled in roughly $180 million in digital pre-orders across the United States and the 5 largest European markets in just 1 week. That's the UK, France, Italy, Germany, and Spain combined. But here's where it gets wild. When you scale that regional figure up to a global estimate, using GTA 5's console player distribution, you're looking at approximately $260 million in that opening week alone. Now, to figure out what this means for total launch week sales, we need to understand how pre-order curves work. There are 3 main patterns that blockbuster games typically follow. First, there's the brand new IP approach, like Cyberpunk or Hogwarts Legacy, where demand builds slowly before exploding once reviews drop. Then you have the sequel, with performance uncertainty, where players know the franchise, but aren't sure if this specific installment will deliver. And finally, there's the proven sequel model, with a known quantity, like EA's annual sports games, where a huge chunk of revenue gets booked right at the beginning. GTA 6 fits most closely with that proven sequel curve. On that trajectory, the opening week represents about 5.8% of the total revenue booked by launch week. That math works out to approximately $4.5 billion in sales by the end of launch week. To put that in perspective, that's roughly 51 million units sold at an average price of $88. The most bullish forecast out there, from Convoy, predicted $7.6 billion in the first 60 days, so this is tracking incredibly well. But GTA 6 isn't a perfect fit for any single category. 2 competing forces are at play here. On one hand, this is the most anticipated game of all time, with over a decade of pent-up demand. Everyone who wanted to pre-order probably jumped on it immediately, with zero concerns about the game's quality. On the other hand, Grand Theft Auto doesn't have the annual release pattern that keeps sports game franchises consistently strong. There are no veteran pre-order bonuses like you'd find in EA Sports FC, so that flattens the curve somewhat. Even when you account for these complications and apply a more conservative estimate, assuming GTA 6 front-loads harder than typical at around 8% of total sales in Week 1, you're still looking at $3.25 billion in opening week bookings. That's approximately 37 million units. No matter how you slice the data, GTA 6 is on pace to absolutely dominate. So let's be clear about what actually happened here. Despite what's floating around on social media, GTA 6 did not hit $1 billion in pre-orders 21 weeks out. That's not how pre-order curves work. Nothing has ever done that, and nothing ever will. What really happened is $180 million in digital spending in that specific week across those 6 major markets, which translates to about $260 million globally. Most of the ramp is still ahead. The realistic range for GTA 6's opening week revenue sits somewhere between $3.25 billion and $5.2 billion. Even in the most conservative scenario, that's an extraordinary number that rewrites the record books.